On that note, I'd like to open up to questions from the audience. Anybody in the audience got a question? If you put your hands up and somebody will come to you, I think, with... Do we have a mic for the audience? Yeah, there's one down here at the front. Sorry to make you run. Yeah, brides with t-shirts. So.
Hi. I have a question for Laurie. How was the kaleidoscope towards the end of the film? How was that effect actually achieved?
We could have done that in CG, but we didn't. We just wanted to make a practical version, and we made a full-size kaleidoscope out of mirrors and a bit of a tube from the middle of a carpet roll. And I had a fantastic team of people. So we started with the idea, and then we kind of put it, but they developed it for us, and it attached to the camera, and you could turn it, and it would spin the whole thing around.
It's like a psychedelic Toblerone.
Yeah. Have you got that?
Yeah, I've got it.
He's got it too.
But I do all my photos of my kid on it.
Yeah. So it was a real thing. It's awesome. It's great. It works a treat.
Except for it called the crew in it, so it cost a fortune. It actually ended up being a massive CG shot in the end to paint everybody out.
I see the microphones, but yeah, it was all.
Okay, who else? So just round here. We have a mic, yeah.
You'll only be people in the front row because the light's so bright here. I can't actually fucking see anything.
Just on the end here.
So, you made this, but you shot another film, didn't you? Did you shoot it after post-production and before release? Was this held up for some reason? Or what made you shoot another film in the middle of doing this project?
It wasn't held up. It was held up. It was held up by Star Wars and fucking James Bond. So we basically, what happens with a movie like this, you have to hang around to get a festival screening. And eventually we got Toronto, so that added a couple of months onto it after it was finished. And then once we were out of Toronto, they were looking at the schedule and going, well, you know, there you go, there's Bond and Star Wars, so that's why we ended up in March. And at the time I was like worried a little bit, but I think it's worked out all right in terms of the film has had a life going to loads of festivals and had a kind of critical life where people have been watching it and enjoying it. So, yes, I think it's worked out all right. And also, we haven't got fucked by piracy, which is great, you know. Which may say something about the film more than piracy, but you know. But to answer the other part of your question, what happened was I finished this film and delivered it, and then the next day we went into pre-production for the next film. So it wasn't like it happened in it. I went, oh, I can't be bothered finishing this. I'll do something else. It was we finished it, and then it had to wait for release, and it took such a long time to come out that we made another movie in between time. So this year I've got 2 films out. The other one, Free Fire, will be out in September. So, you know, it'll either work really nicely or everyone will be thoroughly sick of me by then.
Okay, let's aim for one a bit further back. Yes, on the end there in the blue.
Hi. In relation to Hammer Rise, and particularly in relation to Field in England, the two are chalk and cheese. Is there a difference in approach between the two movies, or is there a consistent dynamic between the way in which you shoot films?
I think that my experience of shooting both the movies was pretty similar, you know, in terms of working with the actors. I mean, we had, Laurie and I had more stuff to play with, and I had more control over the image in High Rise and longer to shoot it. But I never, to be honest, I never felt that we were constricted on Field in England, particularly because it was designed exactly to be shot the way that it was shot. It was written to be shot that quick, so I was never like, at the end of the day, going, drat, I wish I had another few hours. So it seemed all quite, you know, to fit the thing. Yeah, I mean, we to be able to build sets and to be able to control the colour and get to drill right down into it, even to the point of working with the art department over the design of, you know, choosing fonts and stuff on books in sets and stuff, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it's very enjoyable. You know, that was great. But you know, Field in England was just in a field. You know, there wasn't much that couldn't like kind of bother about the blades of grass or get too upset about dandelions and stuff like that. You know, so that was all stripped away. There wasn't those choices to make. Whereas this film, he's got an insanely large cast and lots of different locations, so that became more of a detail. So yes and no.
Can I just ask, do you imagine that you'll, is the plan to kind of go forward and get bigger budgets, or do you imagine going back to, at some point, maybe not quite the level of the field in England, but doing that kind of scale of project?
I think it's not about the budgets, it's about what kind of film you want to make and what kind of release you want. So if I want to make I want to make a film that's about, like a personal film, it's like a tone poem about my feelings about my dad or something, then I'll probably make it quite small.
Is that on the cards?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it, yeah. And then
Exclusive, you heard it here.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't expect that to cost as much as this. And if it did, it would be a fuck up, wouldn't it? Because you'll never get the money back.
But you don't worry about that kind of career that you should be seen to be getting bigger and bigger.
No, I don't think that. I don't. I think for me, selfishly, it's about the pleasure of the making of the films. And like making a low budget film is incredibly pleasurable, and making a big budget film, this level's okay, but I think the next level up it becomes very stressful. And if only just because you've got a responsibility, you've spent a load of someone's money. And you've got to kind of get it back, otherwise there's a sadness that happens. People get killed for 50 quid in Brixton, to spend 100 million quid and not get it back, it's like, it's a disaster, isn't it? So, and obscene, so I think it's, I don't see it as a trajectory of just making budgets going up and up and up. And we've done this already, because like Sightseers for us was the most expensive film we'd done at the time, which was 1.2 million, and then we did Field in England, which was 300 grand. And I think I do a film not even at the field level. I do a film at down terrace level. Again, if everyone would want to do it with me, because we can't pay anyone obviously at that point, and have to go on trust and whatever. But but that at that level is as fun as doing doing the more expensive stuff. So yeah.
Great. Any more questions? Just right look. Back in the middle there, Leslie.
Hi, kind of a question for both of you really. So, Ben, I noticed your t-shirt, Paul, fan. Just in terms of linking in the last question as well, we were talking about budgets and kind of experiences and things. Is adaptation something you'd consider doing in the future? Would you maybe look at doing something like a video game, because that's kind of never quite been cracked yet?
I mean, I think that we'll see what Assassin's Creed's like. That's the one, isn't it?
Hopefully.
There's the big money's on that at the moment, fingers crossed. Though I'm a particular fan of the Mario Brothers movie. I know it's a minority but it's a good movie,
You see that influence everywhere.
Yeah. Dennis Hopper, what do you say? It's the same guys who did Max Headroom. It's a good film. Anyway, sorry. I have written a games adaptation that we're working on at the moment. So of a 80s arcade game. So there you go. It's not Pac-Man. That would be hard.
So that's it. So the tone poem about your father, and then
yeah, why not?
That's the career story.
Yeah.
Next, let's see. Just on the end of this row here.
Hi Ben. Regarding the soundtrack, how did you manage to get Clint Mansell involved?
I was very lucky on this film in terms of the help of Twitter. And Twitter gave me both Clint and Portishead. And usually I just spend my days looking at my own name on Twitter. But sometimes when you do that, you find that people are tweeting about stuff like. So I saw Clint was talking about the films, and he'd seen Field in England. He really liked it, like Kill List, and he'd done a few interviews where he said that much. And I saw that he was actually following me on Twitter. I was like, oh hello, okay. And so I direct messaged him, and then it went from there. And that's an amazing thing, because I mean, up until that point, I never would have thought of being able to contact Clint Mansell. He's too much of it. He's like a monolithic, it's like a big name in concrete, isn't it? He's not like a human. He's like, which it turned out it was, which was great, but it was a bit intimidating. And the same with Portishead. I mean, how would you even start to contact Portishead? You'd have to go to Bristol and hang out and talk to people and bribe people, and eventually you might get to know someone who's met him or something. but no, it turns out Twitter is the way that you talk to Portishead and talk to Jeff Barrow, who's on it quite a lot, you know. So I had so anyway, I talked to Clint and had a few drinks with him, and it kind of went out from there, you know, and then ended up surreally kind of going to LA and sitting in his studio there, all jet lagged and drinking out of got a cup of tea out of a cup, which was a Popolita cup, and he was incredibly open about the whole process, which I don't know what I thought that would be like, but it was, you know, he was very gentle and kind of made me feel, well, for those moments I was in that studio, almost like a musician. But it was just an illusion and a dream. But yeah, I was going, but Clint, what about a bit of, like a triangle in this bit? Yeah, right, yeah, don't worry about that. So that was great, you know, and we went, so that's how we got involved in it, basically, through the vagaries of the internet.
I just asked, was there much of a negotiation to get ABBA for this, because this film about sort of eating dogs and kind of killing each other?
Well, it was, I mean, you know, to get Portishead is one thing. I mean, that was the first track they'd done in 8 years. And to get ABBA, which had never licensed their music for anything, I don't think, was just insane. And if I was thinking about it now, I just think it would be impossible. But it just happened in little degrees. And so then the SOs had been written into the script, and we'd written it in to use it twice like that. And so they said, oh, well, you've got a right to ABBA, you know, and asked them. So I wrote this kind of letter, and I'm a massive ABBA fan. It's not a joke for me, and it's not ironic and all any of those things. I like ABBA, you know, wholeheartedly. And so I could easily write a fan letter to them, a really crawly, you know, desperate-sounding, creepy fan letter. And then at the end of it, I thanked Benny for the music. I wrote it and I went, oh, is this bad? And I thought, no, this is only good. And I sent it before I could think about it. And it worked. It didn't work. They trusted us, you know, and they knew, they're clever people and they know what ballad is, and it wasn't like we were hoodwinking them into anything. But they were just really cool about it. And they loved Portishead as well, so those things coming together really worked. You know.
Right, next question. One try over here. Sorry, Rosalie, make you walk away.
ABBA love Portishead.
Huh?
ABBA love Portishead.
Yeah. How could they not?
I just want to know, in that scene in the supermarket, there's like a brief shot of a BAFTA. Does that belong to anybody, or is that like a real BAFTA?
It belongs to us. And we've not won a BAFTA, obviously, but and I don't think we ever will now, but through the power of the art department, we had one cast and made, and had our names put on it. So we fucking win. It's dated 1974. I think it's us and Paul Cosgrove, which is the character's name. And it was for a documentary called Cron's Soldiers.
For the fact finders out there.
Yeah, I've got it on my desk at home.
I'm waiting for my one, but
you never happened, did it? No, I've got one there. And when I'm editing, if he's going hard that day, I just touch his face. And it's got blood.
Excellent. Next, just at the back there.
Did you have any particular issues with getting the cast you wanted, or with any scheduling issues with casting?
Scheduling issues, yeah, a little bit. I mean, the actually getting of the cast was pretty straightforward. It wasn't. It started with Tom Hiddleston, and I can honestly say we wanted Tom for the beginning, and you have to do a list of cast at the start of these projects, and we had him at the top, and we never thought we'd get him, and then he went on, and we did, and it was fucking great. And I went to see him at Coriolanus at the Donmar, and that was the first time I met him, and I think I was sitting there going, I don't know this fucking play, and I'm going to have to talk to him in 5.5 hours or however long it was, in a minute, and seem intelligent, and that was one of the most stressful moments of this whole film, because he's a very sharp guy, Tom, and he can see through, blagging directors who've not seen much Shakespeare. But yeah, no, that went all right, and so once Tom was in, the whole kind of thing kind of formed around him, really. Schedule-wise, I think there was two two, for schedule fans, there was two issues with the schedule. One of them was Jeremy Irons had to be shot out in a week, at the beginning, 2 weeks at the beginning, so we had to kind of make the whole film and then start again from scratch. And the other one was that I loved James Purefoy so much that he was having a wedding in the middle, he was getting married in the middle of it, and we bent the whole schedule to fit around him. So yeah, that was that, which was ridiculous, and I was told so by the production, but I said, no, have you seen Rome? I want him.
Excellent. Anybody else? So we're down the front here, Rosalie, sorry.
Hi, you said how there was lots of scripts sent when you started and you didn't look at them. I was just wondering how it's finished by either you or Amy being tempted at all to look how we did it, because I guess there's a lot of ways you could go with this adaptation.
Well, Amy wouldn't ever look at any of that stuff. She's not interested at all, so she just moves on like a shark onto the next thing. Yeah, no, we don't look back. I mean, I don't know what we'd do if we did read them and kind of go, oh fuck, oh god damn, it's really good, really good. Never speak of this again. So we won't look to them.
Right, and next, just on the end here.
Hi, I just wondered, out of all the amazing visual opportunities there are in the book, was there any particular thing that you were most excited about realising?
Ooh. Maybe they were trying to do practically shooting a building like that, which we couldn't find anywhere that was practically. And so it was all going to be a challenge, I think, trying to find somewhere to shoot in. That we looked at places that we just weren't at all suitable, so we found a place and kind of built it, because just getting things up into a really tall building that architecturally was right was just going to be a nightmare. So it, realising any of it was a challenge, I think. That was exciting, that was good.
Yeah, and I think for me the kind of, even though it was expanded out from the book, but the fall from the building was something that was even though in the book it's slightly different, but in the script it kind of tied the whole thing together. It was almost like a line in the sand where the whole attitude of the building changed, and that whole sequence of them dancing and fall and while Monroe fell was something that we had a good time doing. I like doing the kids' party stuff as well. That was really good, because it's a lot of that stuff taken from kids' parties that Amy and I have put on. Especially the toilet roll stuff is something that we do a lot. We should do this thing called King of the Idiots, where the kids would wrap me in toilet paper and then paint me and then parade me up and down the street going, we have the King of the Idiots. It's a grounding experience.
Okay, just a couple more questions, I think. Just on the end here. Sorry, over the back there, sorry. I'll come to you next.
Yeah, I was wondering, how did you decide on the kind of final design of the tower? Because I think it was, if I remember correctly, quite vague in the book. How did you go about the actual form of it? Do you have the architects or anything?
In the book, it's kind of described as like a kind of concrete castle, isn't it? I think, if I remember. But there's a few things that dictate it. One of which was really slightly banal, but it was that there's a lot of scenes that are balcony to balcony. And I'd made assumptions about that, and then I stayed in this hotel in Slovenia that had a balcony. It was a kind of brutalist kind of hotel, and I went out and back and went, oh yeah, this is just going to be like high-rise, and I looked up and realised that you can't shoot from balcony to balcony because they're directly over the top of each other. It would make it really weird, people have to lean over before they'd see each other. So that suddenly made the building need a kind of tiered shape, so you could see from space to space, seeing as there's a lot of stuff between Lang and Charlotte's apartments. The other thing that was that kind of dictated it was from the book was the idea of the development was like a hand. And when I started drawing what a hand looks like, it's kind of got that kind of grip thing, which that gave us the tiered balconies. So that fed into it as well. We looked at like kind of contemporary buildings, from the period like Trellick and stuff, and Barbican, but they weren't kind of. they weren't as big as the book as the building in the book, you know. So it had to be something that had a feeling of the 70s architecture, but then it was something else as well. It was a fantasy building, definitely a sci-fi building. So yeah, that was it. And then the only other thing from that point was that when I talked to Mark Tilsley about the design, was that we wanted the building to impose itself on the people, and it was as if Royal didn't give a fuck about the people in the flats, and that the internal structure of the building would press in on them and make them kind of sick and depressed. So Mark came up with this really interesting kind of buttress triangular shape, which kind of felt like, whenever you see the apartments in the building, there's always these kind of slightly awkward triangular, like jutting bits of concrete in them all the time. So it just throws the whole thing off. And I talked to Mark about it from an experience I had in Stockholm. Again, staying in hotels. I don't spend my time staying in hotels. It's terrible, isn't it? But I stayed in this hotel, which was like had a fucking pillar in the middle of the room. So they'd obviously thrown one of the rooms under the bus just to make sure that the building stood up. And I just thought that was mean. So we put that in the film.
Okay, one final question just on the end here.
Hi, I do actually have quite a few questions, but my overall.
You only get one T-shirt.
Do you have a dog?
Do I have a dog? Yes, I have a dog.
But only since the film.
Since the film, yeah. And it's kind of like the negative version of the dog from Sightseers. Yeah, I have a dog. I've not eaten it. So far. One of the big script notes that Jeremy Thomas gave me and Amy at the beginning of the process. In the book, a lot of cats get killed, and we talked to him in his office, and he said, "One note: don't kill any cats." So we didn't. We didn't want to.
Just dog all the way.
Dog all the way. He showed us a picture of a cat and said, "Look at his beautiful face." Because if you know, fans of the book will know there's quite a lot of cat action in it. But that was down to Jeremy. That was our concession to the production. It was not to kill any cats. You know, I've got a form of killing cats. There's loads of dead cats in the films I've made. But this one was cat death free.
And you're expanding your repertoire to dogs.
Yeah, and horses.
And horses, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just about to wrap it up. Ben, you've talked a little bit about. So Free Fire comes out later in the year. Is that
yeah,
right?
September time, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay, and Laurie, I know you've been really busy recently. You've done London Spy, you've done Peaky Blinders, and can you tell us about what you're working on at the moment?
Yes, I'm doing a film with Paddy Considine, which is his second directing feature. So that's we're starting shooting that on Monday, which is very exciting.
Can you tell us anything about that at all?
It's
musical comedy.
Musical comedy, lots of laughs. It's a story about a boxer. What's been in it? It's about a boxer and about recovery from injury. I think that's. I can say that.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming, and thank you to Laurie Rose and Ben Wheatley.